This is the ultimate mini bike maintenance guide. Everything you need to keep your mini bike running strong. Oil, chain, spark, and more. Let's go. Start by idling the engine for a few minutes. You'll want it warmed up so you can get all the oil out. Drain plug time. Be careful, I've got an adapter coming off of there. If you don't tighten that back down, you are going to lose all your oil. Not all engines will have this, but definitely make sure you're not going to be pulling that instead of the drain plug. I'll be the first to say this is an insanely healthy looking oil. You should generally only run about 10 to 15 hours worth before you change it. I'm probably on hour 25 or 30 now. Now to find the right oil. There's definitely a lot of options. I'm going with SAE 10W30 and it is for 4-cycle engines. You need 16 ounces or equivalent to have a quart. Check if you need detergent or non-detergent oil. Also keep your bike flat, if not, oil will leak out. Here I'm rocking the bike back and forth so I can see the oil level compared to the threads. You'll want them peaking right over like the last couple of threads. Time to clean up this dirty doped on thing. When it comes to washing your bike, there's a couple things you want to secure down, like the air filter right here. There's also a breather hose coming off of the valve. You'll want to make sure that's pointing down so water can't drip inside. And then lastly, if you've got a muffler, I'd say just cover it with a bag. But if you got a straight pipe like this, just shove a bag in it. The goal here is to just blast off all of the dirt and light grime. You're going to get all of the grease and iron deposits with the engine degreaser later. For these degreasers, it doesn't matter which one you use. This O'Reilly's engine degreaser honestly does wonders. And then in the spray bottle, I just have a pre-diluted solution in there. Focus on the spots that'll build up the most dirt and oil. Like right here, I'm spraying the whole throttle connection and everything. And the dirt really likes to build up right there. The valve cover is really good to spray down, the inside of the torque converter. Now you just want to let this stuff soak for a couple of minutes, and then you want to come back in with the rag, preferably wet. I'm realizing that now, whoops. But yeah, you just want to scrub it in, get all the dirty places, especially like the gas tank if it leaks a little bit. A big recommendation, shove a cloth behind the torque converter and scrub off that plate behind there. Tons of grime builds up. Now that everything's degreased, grab the hose back out and spray her down. Holy crap, that looks so much better, even with it still being wet. You'll definitely want to dry things off really well, especially if it's got springs or like the wheel well. That rusts really easily. The valve cover, straight pipes, anything that's not painted, make sure you dry off. There's a couple of spots I like to pull up. Make sure that you get the water out of there. A hot spot is right by the spark plug. There's a little pocket that water likes to build up. Make sure you clean that out. We're now on to cleaning the chain. Be sure to get all sides really well, top, bottom, and both sides. Keep rolling it forward, inch by inch, and eventually it'll be clean. I'd say wait max about an hour or two before you re-lube the chain. If you don't lube it fast enough, it can build up some rust. Also, if you're doing this in a grassy area, make sure you spray it down after. If you don't, it might kill the grass. Like I said earlier, you want to re-lube the chain pretty quick after you clean it off. My best tips would be for this: do it on a cold engine. Use your straight pipe or muffler as a guide for your hand. Put the nozzle nose hose thingy directly over the middle of the chain. Slowly spray it while walking it forward. You'll want to walk your bike back and forth a couple of times and really let that soak in there and get in between all the joints. Now you just let it sit and lube itself up. Now for spark plug. You want to pull off this black cap. In this brass part that I'm spinning, you want to make sure that's tight. That can come off, so make sure that's all the way on. Now you just spin it counterclockwise. Pop it off with the tool. And comes out super easy, but I'd say keep the tool on there. Makes it spin out a lot easier. When it comes to checking the condition of your spark plug, if it's super sooty or black, you're running rich. If it's white or dry as frick, then it's going to be running really lean. Sometimes it can pit itself out, like melt part of the metal if it's running a little too lean. And then if it's normal, like mine was looking, then it'll be a light tan or a light brown. We're now on to cleaning the carburetor. Start by taking off your air filter. If you've got a filter like this, the paper is still filtering, then you want to just spray it out like I'm doing here. Later I'll show you a destroyed filter with barely any paper. If it looks like that, you want to replace it. And get creative with it. It's really hard to reach some spots. Here's the destroyed filter. You can tell it kind of just looks like wire at certain angles. Yeah, that red to black, that is no paper compared to paper. Yeah, replace that. Now take off whatever filter housing you have. As you can see, mine is super dirty. You definitely want to clean this off. I'm going to walk you step by step how to remove and then put back on the carburetor so you can clean it. So start by moving the clamp that keeps the hose onto the carburetor. And then you want to clamp down the hose some way so that it doesn't leak out the gas. Using a screwdriver to take off this hose is way easier than just trying to use your fingers. Keep that hose facing upwards so it doesn't leak gas. Shove a equal sized screwdriver into the hole and then put the clamp back over the screwdriver. Now you want to unlink the throttle system. Just disconnect that wire. Pull off the gasket. And now carefully remove the carburetor. Don't strip those threads. Now you just take some carbon throttle body cleaner and spray from the outside in. I would normally break down the whole carburetor, pull the whole bowl off and float and all that stuff, but I'm just going to do a separate video. This will suffice for now. Just make sure that you drain out anything that went inside the carburetor from the drain bolt. Also, I'm realizing now how stupid of a move that was for me to use that drill, or that impact wrench. It's not brushless, so it sparks every time that it spins. It could easily, very, very easily light a fire. Please be smarter than that. Right here I'm spraying off a little separator. It just makes it so that the carb doesn't get too hot. But dirt definitely likes to build up there. I'd spray that off. Now just hook back up the throttle. Be careful of that silver plate, it can sometimes catch. Like right here, I have to lift it up a little bit. Now you just go backwards and get the clamp back on the hose. Move the actual hose clamp off of the screwdriver. Slide the screwdriver out. And now struggle to put the hose back on the inlet. This is where it's definitely nice to have a towel underneath or something to catch all the liquid. You might drip a lot. As you can see, my throttle doesn't want to return, so now I've got to mess with my makeshift spring system and get that to return. Gasket goes back on, housing goes back on, tighten it all down. These threads do strip, don't ugga-dugga them down. When it comes to checking tires and deciding when to swap them, you can tell I definitely went bald on one of my tires. The other one, that's the front, I could have definitely swapped that to the rear, but I got a new set for like 55, 60 bucks, so I figured I'd just swap both. Have an extra as a burnout tire or in case I pop one. But yeah, if it gets that flat, swap it out way earlier. It was kind of scary riding in rain. It would turn into a mirror. But yeah, just be smart. Be conscious of how much tread you've still got. And just be safe. That's what you need to keep your mini bike running strong. In the next video, I'll be showing you how to change your brakes and maintain your chain. If this helped, hit the like button and consider subscribing. Got questions or tips of your own? Drop it in the comments. Ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one.